Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm talking about Mercury opposite to Neptune in Synastry. So this aspect you got to watch out for because the Neptune person may be deceiving to the Mercury person or just have a destabilizing influence on the Mercury person's mind, okay? And it might not even be that is their intention, but it's just by way of their Neptunian energy, they can be, a bit confusing to Mercury. But I do prefer this aspect to the square because there can be a lot of good and a lot of growth that can come out of it. So let's talk about it. So the Mercury person can really see the Neptune person as like a guru or a guide or like a sage or like a brilliant genius, okay? The Mercury person really can feel like the Neptune person has some wisdom that is truly valuable to them and is helping them. If there are other positive aspects going on to the person's Mercury too, this will be enhanced. And the Neptune person can really have like an telepathic insight into what is going on in the Mercury person's head. So the Mercury person really can feel actually a bit vulnerable around the Neptune person because it's like without speaking, the Neptune person knows what they're going to say anyways. So this is an aspect of finishing each other's sentences where like the Mercury person too can like think of the Neptune person and then get a phone call from them. Or the Neptune person, the Neptune person really can just know what's going on in the Mercury person's mind. Now, if the Neptune person is maybe a bit manipulative or has, bad intentions towards the Mercury person, they can really use this aspect to freak out the Mercury person or just get the Mercury person to share information that is going to be useful to them. So you really want to look at the rest of the synastry and see what the intentions of the Neptune person are, because if the Neptune person has bad intentions towards the Mercury person, having that open line of telepathic communication could end up being really damaging to the Mercury person. The Mercury person could feel like they overshare with the Neptune person too, or they might not even need to overshare because the Neptune person already knew what they were going to say anyways, and that can be kind of freaky. Like this can be kind of eerie to have this aspect. It's more for the Mercury person. The Mercury person is getting the difficult end of this aspect where they can get deceived, or they can get vulnerability sort of hangover, or like just feeling like the Neptune person is inside their head and maybe they didn't consent for them to be there. This is also an aspect of dreaming of the other person. If you have someone's Neptune opposite your Mercury, you can dream of them. And the dreams, they might not be romantic in nature. You could just be communicating with them. You can be having a lot of dreamtime conversations with this person. And it's not in itself, this isn't a sexual or romantic aspect. This is a mental aspect. This is a mental connection. So you could really feel like you have met your mental soulmate with this aspect. And that can really feel like you've found the one, like you've found someone who understands you on a mental level. And that finishing each other's sentences, that telepathic connection, it can be very addicting. And the Mercury person can really be attached to the Neptune person because they feel understood. They feel like they can speak without words. They feel like the Neptune person is this erratic, elusive genius that they just want to hold on to and they want to pin down. And, depending on the rest of the synastry, they may never be able to pin down the Neptune person, because the Neptune person maybe is actually evasive, or escaping from them, or not really there. And so the Mercury person can spend a lot of time trying to bring down the Neptune person to Earth and keep them here, because they just want to be around that energy. But the Neptune person might never be there. But you could have other aspects going on, like some Saturn stuff, that would show the Neptune person does want to be there. And this is real. This isn't, this is just one story or one part of the story, right? But yeah, you want to look at the rest of the synastry, see what the Neptune person's intentions are towards Mercury, because this is one you want to, if you're signing a contract with them, you want to overlook it. You want to read the fine print, right? Because, Mercury could be deceived with this one. But probably more what will happen is, because of that kind of ethereal quality of this, Mercury will try and double check everything, or, figure out what the Neptune person is saying even more, because they sense this kind of confusingness about the connection. So, but yeah, you want to watch out for, like if you're doing some kind of financial dealings, or if you're signing a contract, or, buying a house with this person or something, like you want to just double check everything, read everything, like make sure everything is good, because the Mercury person too might sense at times that maybe the Neptune person is off in some far off land and they gotta bring them down, right? So it's a very interesting aspect. It actually can be very inspiring. Like I said, the mental connection here is so strong in the opposition, and it can kind of switch too, where Mercury has an insight into the Neptune person's emotions as well. The Mercury person can really, like with their mind, like a laser, tap into that Neptune person's unconscious and like what's really going on there, and then they can actually speak to them what they want to hear. So there can be manipulation going on both sides here, because the Mercury person does just really want to keep them around, because they feel like they're the mental muse, they're like this artistic genius, that knows inside their mind like no one else. So they can use that Neptunian energy to speak to them in a way that emotionally captivates them. And there can be definitely a past lifetime of like teacher student here, or maybe we've had a past lifetime of studying something together, like we're having a past lifetime of being like disciples or something spiritual or religious, or there's some type of learning together in a past lifetime. And with the opposition, the karma could kind of go either way. It could be partially positive karma and partially negative karma, but this one can definitely feel really eerie, and it can take a while to get comfortable with this energy, because the Mercury person can really feel like, what's that Neptune person up to, and the Neptune person can really feel like, why does the Mercury person think I'm up to something? Like there's this confusing interplay going on here. But over time, it can actually lead to such a strong psychic bond and an access like into each other's minds that really is unbeatable. So it can be very addicting. And the Mercury person can really see the Neptune person as like a guru or someone that they want around, because they're very addictive to their mind. They feel really psychically connected to each other, connected in each other's dreams. It can be very inspiring when it's not being confusing. So I'd love to know your experience of this aspect. Was it like this? Was it not like this? And thanks for the requests, you guys. Keep them coming, and we'll talk soon. Bye.